and roll.
Live
Yeah.
and ready to rock and roll.
Here we go.
Are we on? Let's see here.
Yeah, it says it's live here on my end, Meg.
Yep,
Okay,
we're good.
awesome. Good morning, everyone. There we are.
Happy
Good morning.
Friday.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Just wanted to welcome everyone to Agent Attraction Mastery Week number 2. And I have some super special guests, so they are going to be taking over the entire presentation this morning here in about 2 minutes. But I did want to, it's showing here that I need to hit play on my screen. Wewe're good, right?
You're good. You're good, Meg.
Okay, good. Awesome. I'm just going to ignore that. So Shelley Johnson and John Pedone, it is just so great to have you here this morning. And we will be going through some scripts, I understand. So I'm super excited about that. I have been blessed to be on calls, live calls, where I'm just listening in with you two. And man, what a blessing that's been for me. I have learned so much about creative and impactful ways, no pun intended, to connect with agents. So I'm looking forward to you guys sharing that. First of all, I want to check in with anyone that is listening in right now. If you can pop in the comments on how you did with your homework last week. I'll mention a couple of things. I also want to let everyone know that might be popping in this week that this was streamed live on Impact Worldwide on this page last Friday at 11. So you can scroll back through the feed, watch week 1 if you have a little catch up to do. We kind of talked about how to lay the groundwork for being ready to connect with agents and creating a database where you can find agents to connect with. So I hope that was helpful for everyone. Homework wise, 2 of the things that were really big, we had a few things on the list. Number 1 was to create a database of a minimum of 50 agents. The ideal number is 100 minimum, but can anyone post in comments if you were able to get that going and get it organized and put it in a system? I'm going to pull this up on my phone so that I can watch the comments with you guys. Hey, Jennifer Pratt, seeing some comments now. Anyone have some successes that they can share from the friends and family text? That was another piece of our homework last week. Did anyone send those out? And if so, even if it was 1 or 2, have you gotten some responses? Did you get some names that makes it so much easier to connect with a nice warm introduction? So I'm looking good. Robin got your list of Boca Raton agents done. Way to go, girl. You're always a rock star. Jennifer Pratt, Excel spreadsheet. Way to go. I'm super excited. So if you can, go ahead and pop in any successes that you had from last week. And we'll be sharing those. I'll be sharing those at the end. Good. Jennifer, you got 1 in Maine and 1 in Asheville. Awesome. That was from friends and family text. So if you did not watch last week, go back, watch that. There's a lot of fun things you can do, but let's dive right in. Shelley and John both are just such well-respected colleagues. I think most of you in this group probably know them, but if you don't, Shelley runs $140 or $50 million team up in Lake Norman. And John, you're just an absolute rock star in every right as well. And we couldn't be more privileged to have you guys on here today. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Well, thanks, Meg.
Thanks, Meg, for having us on today. This is awesome that you're putting this a series on for the group, because this helps us all. It helps me and Shelley stay focused. It helps all of us by you doing this. You know, me and Shelley started off, you know, I guess maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and we started saying, listen, you know, all of us, we don't know every single agent out there, but we thought it would be a good idea if we could start connecting with agents. And obviously these are cold calls that we're doing when we're calling up an agent directly, but we're doing it in a way where we're not forcing EXP on them right off the bat. It's all about building a relationship with the agent and trying to understand their business. And I think, like, even, you know, I'll let Shelley talk a little bit, just explain, because I mean, I've been used to prospecting and cold calling that's how I started my career, but she's really turned into an expert on this from when she first started. and it's almost just natural anymore when she's having these conversations. So maybe if you can kind of share that a little bit, Shelley, that'd be great.
Well, I think John actually really helped me overcome some of my fears when it came to prospecting, because I think we all naturally, whether we're trying to lose weight or exercise more, or we have something that's holding us back, and it's usually the fear of failure or the fear of not knowing what to say or do. Or whatever the reasons are, there's always there's an excuse, or we come up with other work to do instead of doing the work that's going to make the difference. So by working alongside John, I learned quickly that I missed out in my career. I would imagine where we could be if we had been prospecting all along. But we've done it without it. So I kind of quickly learned. He made me feel really comfortable, because when we would prospect, he would go, he would tell me all the things that were great about what I could bring to the table for that individual agent. And the cool thing is we all have individual strengths that are really valuable that the other person's lacking. So someone like, Meg is amazing with connecting with people, but maybe weaker on the technology side, but she's learning through that too and hiring to her weakness. But in doing that, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And I think like learning and running along someone and getting uncomfortable is really important. And I remember the first time I picked up the phone with John. Well, first I'm sitting with one of my favorite people and peers, and I do my first call. I stumbled over my words. I said the wrong thing. I spoke too fast. All the things you could do, I did. But John was out there and encouraged me and was like, okay, you did good. This is where we could do. And he coached me through that process. So as we've been doing this over time and it's gotten more comfortable for me, I'm going to tell you, it's still not the easiest thing in the world for me to do, but I do it every week. And even when John was sick for a couple of weeks, I still did it. And I built my confidence even in that, because it's like, okay, because I didn't have him as my crutch to lean on. So that's what those calls are really for. So you guys can hear the words, and we're giving out the scripting to you so that you can actually make the calls yourself. But here's the thing, unless you make the calls, you're not going to make a difference. So if we come to those meetings and we don't make those calls every week and come back like Meg's asking us to do and share our successes, then we're not going to actually gain any opportunity from, or it's not going to help us. So John and I, when we do the calls, we make sure that we do a little role playing at the beginning where they'll throw out objections or challenges, and John and I'll work through that on those calls on Tuesday at 11. And it's a Zoom call. We don't do them live in Impact because sometimes these agents are people you might know, and we don't want to, put their public information out there. So that's why it's a Zoom call. But it is really, really helpful. So that's kind of, for me, I've grown tremendously in this, and I've gotten a lot more comfortable. And I just remember that I was in the same pain points that agent was in at some point. So I know that I'm coming from a place of contribution, that if I don't have this conversation with them, they may be in that pain point a year from now, and it may hurt their family. And I'm watching with the COVID that happened. COVID's been crazier lately around our market and other markets. That there's people that we actually lost an agent yesterday or the day before that I met a while back who got COVID. And I had a conversation with him for an hour in Scottsdale about 3 or 4 months ago. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he's like the nicest guy, the most amazing. Like he had a great personality. Like there was like 6 other guys and they were nice too. But this guy like stuck, like kind of like he just had this something about him that was like really like genuinely kind and good. And I thought thinking this is going to be so amazing for his family. And I saw him again and he stopped me really quick and said, thanks for like spending that time with me. And the reason I'm sharing that with you guys is because you need something beyond just transactional. Yeah. For your families, because we don't ever know when our production will stop because of whatever. We could get sick, we could have get sick for a few weeks. That's a slowdown in our production for our families. It may not hurt us right that minute, but maybe 4 months down the road. So it's really important that we have this happening, and then we're helping other agents by having the conversation. So it's for their future. So it's helped me tremendously.
Huge kudos to you guys, because one of the things I forgot to mention from their homework was to find a running partner. Last week I encouraged everyone to say, hey, just find someone. Say, hey, are you motivated to do this? But you have to make sure your motivation levels are the same. And that when you get on that call weekly together, so explain to them how you do it. You get on a Zoom together, right? And then when one person is making a phone call, the other one mutes themselves, but they can listen in, right?
Yeah, time block ourselves throughout the week. I mean, it's been little bit complicated. Like Shelley said, I was sick, and then Kevin's recovering, so we've been trying to get back in the groove of things again. But what happens is me and Shelley found that it's really good for us to, because we have this ding and gang thing going on where we jump on a Zoom call. So I can listen to her make a call, and then she could listen to me make a call, and then we'll stop in between those calls and say, what do you think I could have done better? Because you need to be able to take constructive criticism. Like, we're not all perfect, and some days we're on and some days we're off. But what's really helped us, I think, and Shelley will agree with this, there's only so many objections. And once we learn the objections, we can get through that, right? So I think Meg or something you brought up, or somebody last week, where they said, well, is this about EXP? You know, I already know about EXP, but they really don't, because if they knew about EXP, they'd already be here, right? So getting back to them, it's like, great, what have you heard about EXP? And probably 9 times out of 10, it's wrong what they say, right? But also it's asking enough questions to them to understand what's important to them. Because I think what me and Shelley have really found is that not every agent is similar. They have different things that are important to them. It could be healthcare, it could be trying to grow their business, leveraging their business. We had a team we talked to last week, and their major concern, Shelley will contest this, was like combating the Zillows of the world, like, right? So everybody's like, what is EXP doing to create something that's a consumer-based platform? Mm-hmm. So what's amazing is that the more calls we have and the more agents we talk to, it helps us, because maybe next time that agent brings up the same thing and we know the answer to that. So, and I want to just say something really quick that I think it's important, because I think a lot of the agents here, some of them, they might look at it and be like, well, I'm not a Shelley Johnson, I'm not a Meg Watson, like I can't make these calls because I don't have that type of, you know, resume there. And like, I think you said something really true, and Shelley too, it's like, you have value. That's a mindset thing. Nobody says you got to go out and sell $50-100 million worth of real estate. Being a good business partner is being there for the person that you brought over, regardless of what your production level is. So for me, when I partner with an agent, I am not good at everything. I'm good at some things, but at the same time, if it's you running together. Shelley uses this a lot. The Marines work together and they take one Marine over the wall. She does a good analogy, but it's helping each other. So be there for them, support them. And then also, you have such other great business partners inside of Impact, leverage those business partners. So if you need to pull a Meg Watson in, or whoever inside of our group, and we have so many talented agents to help out, that is your advantage, because you have access. And that's key in a lot when you're talking to these agents. You're trying to figure out who's a good fit for them. Wouldn't you say, Shelley?
Totally agree. I think the thinking of going into this, I think the mindset is, you know, having the comfort level of practicing it, like with a running partner, like Meg said, because like I said, I would still, let me say this, I would to this day still not be making calls had I not had that time with John. So, you know, getting that running partner, because we'll tell ourselves, don't go to the gym, or that cookie looks really good. But when we have some accountability, we start to go, well, maybe I should have kava for lunch instead of a Big Mac. I don't know. I'm just coming up with stuff. But you know, like when you have that person that you respect, I think having respect for that person is really important. That you're letting them down if you don't do your part. And having that person, because I will tell you, if I didn't have someone I respected, that I trusted, that was going to have my back and encourage me at the same time, I wouldn't be making calls right now. And it's really made a difference. And the cool thing is as you do things, you build your confidence. So as you do them, but unless you make the action, and you know, we can have the hope and desire and everything, but unless we take the action that goes along with that hope and desire, we're not going to get to the next level.
It's kind of like, I thought of this the other day, Shelley, to that point. It's like starting in the business and saying, I am going to be an expired agent, right? I am going to do nothing but focus on expireds, and you never pick up the phone and call one, right? It's no different. It's never going to build if you don't take the action. We talked about that last week, but it's scary. you know, and a running partners helps so much. So I
Yeah.
love what you guys are doing.
We try to also like, even inside that accountability group, like it doesn't, I think what happens is we overcomplicate things too much. And, I'm a very big person when I'm trying to look at our conversion rates. So me and, Shelley, we talked about this in the beginning months back, like we know that every probably 3 or 4 people that we usually speak to be honest, we're getting 2 appointments. Like we're getting appointments. It's gotten much better
Much easier.
compared to the beginning. So what I would say to everybody listening is write down your goals of how many agents you're going to speak to throughout the week. I mean, is it 2 a day, which would turn into, 10 a week, right? 40 a month. So say for example, you put a business plan together and you don't overcomplicate things. You said for the next 60 days, I'm going to just trust in this and I'm going to talk to 2 agents a day, 10 a week, 40 a month. Let's just say you're really bad, right? Really bad at this. And say 10% of those agents come over. That's 3 to 4 agents a month, guys. So, and it's going to get better to do this. So I would set a goal and say, listen, if you guys are just getting started, I got to get 5 agents, 5 business partners, and just work towards that goal. And then once you get to 5, you'll say, okay, well, this wasn't enough. I'm going to go out and get another 5. I'm going to get another 5. And you're just going to keep building from that. I want to say something really quick that I think is important. And if you're okay with this, Shelley, I'll go over a couple of script things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the negative words, the guys that I want to try, that we've learned that we really have to get away from, when you are out there talking to agents, I don't care if you're prospecting or you're just talking to an agent, don't ever use negativity in that conversation. For example, when you ask a question about the model, say, what did you like about the model? Don't ever say, what didn't you dislike about the model, right? So it's a positive thing you're adding into the conversation. Another thing that you want to talk about is the word sponsor. I absolutely hate that word. I've always hated that word. It's business partner. I look at Meg as a business partner of mine, Shelley as a business partner. What we're doing now is we're working together for our businesses. So that word sponsor needs to go. Like, you need to, when you're talking to these agents, say, I'm looking for a business partner to run together to help each other grow our sales side of the business as well as our, our revenue, if that's what they want to get into. Another thing is Brent taught me this when I was on a Zoom call with him, because I made a mistake. I kept saying downline and upline, and he shut me right down. He's like, stop saying that, it's organization. And he was right. So we need to start talking about, well, they're in my upline, they're in my downline. Just say they're in your organization. And they're like, what is this organization? It's a private organization that we created. We're linked arms together and we're helping each other grow a better business. Another thing is the agents will come across sometimes and say, hey, are you looking to recruit me? Right? That word's really weird too. So no, like, listen, I'm attracting you to our brokerage. It's attraction because it's been phenomenal for me and my family. It's been great. I want you just to take a look at it because I'm just curious you get opinion of what we're working on, because I respect you so much. Right? Another thing too, I think I've noticed over the past, especially 3 to 5 months, is that when we start talking about stocks, it's like not everybody is stock savvy like we are, like some of us. Like, to me, when somebody mentions stocks, I understand stocks, right? But I think it's better if you come across and say ownership in the company, because then you can explain what that ownership looks like later. Right. But if you say, listen, like when me and Shelley are talking to an agent, we start talking about their business and what we've done, what Impact is doing. And then we'll say, listen, to be honest with you, we've all made our decision to run our businesses inside of EXP as an engine because we wanted ownership. And we wanted to get out of the franchise model because ownership was important to all of us. If you put that in their head, they're like, oh, well, I'm in a franchise model. I don't have ownership. I want to look at ownership too. Everybody wants to be an owner, right?
Everyone loves that word.
Yeah, so just little things like that do make a big difference in a conversation. From a script standpoint, do you want me to go on a little bit of the scripts at all, Shelley? Or
I think we should. I think
Can I ask you guys a favor? One thing I'm trying to remember if we've really covered in depth last week was impact. Okay. So I'm just sitting here thinking there are going to be people watching this that are a part of a Facebook group called Impact Worldwide. How do you, in a nutshell, describe what you have created? A lot of people have no idea what this is. So before we talk about how to explain the value to other people, let's make sure everyone watching this understands what we've created and new things that are coming up. I mean, Shelley, we have our leadership call, but people don't get to be privy of that. So yeah, I would love it if you'd spend a couple of minutes on that. I think it might be beneficial.
Can I give you kudos on this, you and Craig, Shelley, real quick? So
It's everybody.
Shelley and Craig, you guys got to remember when they transitioned over, they were the first ones to transition over to EXP. It was a virtual company, and that was kind of scary 4 years ago, right? Because it's not like now it's normal. So they really wanted to create a support system for everybody, because it was, we didn't want to lose that connection of being virtual. So Impact was created, and with a small group, and then now it's grown into 3,000 agents. But the Impact is a support unit in my mind, because from a leadership, I know what we're doing. We're trying to help each other, all of us, grow a better sales business, because that's important. But at the same time, focus on how do we impact our family? How do we impact the lives of others? And how do we impact our business, right? And we have so much talent. We have the Meg Watsons, the Shelleys, the Lee Tessiers, and I can go on forever about how many great talented people we have in the organization. And all of us are pouring into each other as a family freely. And that's helped all of our businesses out, because we can learn, whether it's a commercial agent, that we have commercial agents, there's so much talent that we've been helping each other. And it's also really important that you've mentioned that when you're talking to an agent, that you have a private network. That is a private network. You have to be connected in the family tree to get that support system, because we only have so many resources. But maybe if you can add on to that, Shelley, there too as well.
Yeah, it's evolved, and it's because of a lot of great leaders coming together. And it was just more of a need for communication, so that we could share ideas, and that's where it all stemmed from. And then it's turned into a lot of amazing leaders and a lot of terrific realtors across the entire country and world. And so it was Impact Group, and then it went to Impact Worldwide, which so it's evolved. And then it basically, we were thinking impact your business, impact your life, and impact your future, because that's what EXP provides. And then inside of Impact, we're building, like John said, our businesses together and helping agents. And it's been very helpful when you call an agent to lean on that. So when you're talking to an agent that's heard about EXP or been called on about EXP, that's a blessing, because now they know about us. Before we would call and they thought we had 4 heads. So now when you call an agent, you've got this great organization that you're a part of, that you can add tremendous value to their business, and be able to know confidently that if they become a part of what we're doing, they're going to increase their opportunity for their families. So, because that's the bottom line, we all are in this business because we want to help create a better opportunity in life for our families. So when we're talking to an agent about a call, we could do a scripting call real quick, John, if you want to do that. Would you like for me to call you? And or
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
okay.
all right. Yeah, we can play this.
I love this. I used to hate this, guys. I never did this, and now I do it all the time. I call, I'm like, ring ring. They're like, I'm like, why are you doing this? I love it.
Yeah, we can role play.
All right, so ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, John, this is Shelley Johnson. How are you doing?
Hey, Shelley, how you doing?
I'm good. How is business going?
Good. It's going good, Shelley.
Is this a good time for us to talk?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I don't know if you're familiar with me, but I am in the Charlotte, Lake Norman market. I know you're in Nashville. I have a ton of respect for your business. Your name keeps popping up, and I've been watching you for a while and see how a tremendous job you're doing with your clients, and have heard about you. I was just wondering, how long have you been in the business, John? I don't know like your background that well.
Yeah, Shelley. So I've been in the business for about 9 years in real estate here in the Asheville market, and
Okay.
got a small team of about 2 agents, and we're just focused on keeping the grind going, selling our real estate.
That's impressive. I mean, with your numbers and 2 team members, that's impressive. My business partner, Craig, and I have a great business here in the Lake Norman market with some great team members that we're fortunate enough to run with. And we've been able to grow our business as well. I don't know if you've heard of LePage Johnson, but Craig's my business partner, and we've been working together for a while now. But I've definitely heard about you. And have you always sold in the Asheville market? Have you sold in other markets?
Yeah, no, actually I relocated to Asheville from Maryland about 6 years ago and stuff.
Wow.
So I came from that market, and then decided to relocate to Asheville.
And you've been doing this, like, that's amazing, that production and building a team that fast. That's awesome. I similarly came from another market. I came from Maryland as well. And what's interesting is a group of agents and a lot of great leaders across the country have built a group called Impact Worldwide. And we have been able to build that group to almost 3,000 agents together collaboratively. And in doing that, it's really helped the agents build their business, create leverage points. I know one of my biggest struggles in the industry has been creating leverage points. Do you have family, children, John?
Yeah, so I have 2 children, one 6-year-old and one 8-year-old.
Oh, awesome. Boys, girls?
One boy, one girl.
Wow, I don't have any kids, so I can't even imagine trying to do all this with children and build what you've built. That's awesome. I even though I don't have kids, I have a lot of people I love, so I like to do things for people. I just was thinking about you, and I'd love for you to meet one of my great business partners, John Pedone. He's in the Charlotte market, individual agent. He has a small team that he's built recently, and he's doing an incredible business. He does about 26 million. I think you guys do around the same amount of business. And just was thinking it would be great to connect with you. I'd love to share what we're doing inside of Impact Worldwide. And would you be interested in having a 15-minute quick Zoom with John?
Yeah, possibly. So is Impact Worldwide like a team or what is it? I'm trying to understand. What is it, like a brokerage?
Actually, no. What happened was Craig and I, about 4 years ago, we were with KW for about 8 years. You've been with KW for a little while now, right, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Awesome. Well, that's where we grew up our business too. We built our team in there, and we were looking for something more for our agents. So Craig and I decided to run our business inside of EXP, and that in doing that, we started Impact Worldwide, and that's what's really helped leverage our time. And we're learning how to do more things, and we're running with agents that are top people like yourself, and we're sharing ideas. And I feel like we've been able to scale our business, triple our business in the 4 years we've been here.
Yeah, I've heard about EXP.
Have you?
Yeah, I heard that they're mostly focused on, recruitment and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's common. I understand where that would come from. You get phone calls, I'm sure, from time to time.
Yeah. So that's my thing, is like I'm focused more on the sales side of things. Like recruitment's really not my thing.
Totally respect that. I mean, that's what we all built our business on, is building a great real estate business, taking credit of our clients and loving on them and taking care of them in a high level. And that's what we still do. We do exactly that in Impact Worldwide. We all work together. We share ideas on how we're, a lot of our people have done, are national coaches or taken lots of national coaching, Mike Ferry, Buffini, all the great coaches of the world. And we're all working and sharing that knowledge together. And it's super collaborative because we're coming from different markets, different levels of business. And some people are trying to grow their team. Some people are trying to get themselves to where they can have some financial ownership in a company. And that's really been a game changer for us, is having ownership inside of a company like EXP. But really it's LePage Johnson, and EXP is like the AMG on the back of our car. So we just are powered by it.
Sounds definitely interesting, Shelley, what you guys are doing.
Awesome. I'd love to just introduce you to John if you'd be open to meeting with him. He's one of my favorite people. I know you'd respect him as much as I do. Would Friday or Monday work for you to get together on a Zoom?
Yeah, actually Friday I might have some availability for like 30 minutes.
Awesome. Let's plan for 3 o'clock on Friday if that works. And I'll send you a Zoom link, a calendar invite, and I'll also send you a text message with the calendar as well. So you'll have my information. You can Google us and see what we're about, Craig and I, and I'll make sure you have Craig's contact too.
All right, sounds good. Awesome, Shelley. Look forward to
Thanks,
getting.
John. Thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited to talk to you guys. So I was going to go in a different direction and really be hard on Shelley there for a second. I started to back up because we do get those tough conversations, but we're live now. So, but you do get, like, all of us get kicked back about EXP. As soon as they hear that EXP thing, hold on just 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second.
So him saying that real quick, what's interesting is when you talk about what I do, it's I yesterday I had a call with a group, and I like to basically, everybody has kids or dogs. When a dog's acting up, what do you do? Or child's acting up, and I'm not saying these agents are acting up, but what do? You divert them. So diversion is everything. You answer the question, but then you divert it to something else. So you don't ignore the question. That's really important. But but then you wrap it back around to what your real goal is, which is to help them understand impact worldwide and why you're there, and create that curiosity. So that diversion is really important.
Yeah, I think that Shelley's done a really good job too. And you guys, I mean, I see this when we're on our Zoom calls together. She has a notepad out, and as she's talking, she's making notes.
Yeah.
So she's trying to build what avenue that she's going to go down, right?
Mhm.
She's trying to figure out what their sweet spot is. And that's super important. Well, there's a notepad. So, but that's really important, is because as the conversation goes, they'll say, yeah, well, I've heard about EXP, but it's like we said, 9 times out of 10, the story's wrong. So they're all about recruitment. So what I was hoping that Shelley, I put her on the spot, that would have came back maybe and said was like, you know what? I actually thought that too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much more than that. Actually, in Charlotte alone, we're the #1 real estate firm. We're in my market, we sold $1.5 billion worth of real estate, and my business has grown from 42 million to, we'll probably get closer to 150 million. So we are strictly focused on sales sides. Even without with revenue share or the attraction you talked about, we are, in my business experience, we're running really a great business platform, the best one out there. I just love to share it with you and just kind of share what we're doing inside Burger. So don't be afraid. Don't, like, when somebody says something like that, that's an objection, right? So you need to think right then, how do I get around that objection? Now, the more the calls that you make, it will be easier for you, because then once you hear it one time, you're like, okay, I'm not going through that again. Let me notate what I'm going to say. And then you have an objection to go through. So, but if you, it's like Meg was saying, if you don't get on the phone and start talking to people, she talked about expire. It's like, you cannot get better at anything in life if you don't jump in the game. So guys, you got to jump in the game. There's too much opportunity here. I always say this, like, I'm Italian. If I know Meg and Shelley love Italian food, then I'm going to say, hey guys, there's this restaurant over there on the corner or whatever, Maiola's. I want you guys to check it out and take a look at it because they have really good food. It's no different than EXP. If you guys are running a great business and you guys are happy why wouldn't you want to share that? Why wouldn't you want another agent to be happy?
Yeah. And John, one of the things that I think we talked about this, or it came up in the last calling session, when people say, oh, I've heard about EXP. No, I've gotten calls, you know, I can understand that, acknowledging it, like Shelley did such a great job at, and then just saying, what was it about our model, about our company? I like the word company better, but what was it about our company that you didn't think fit into your business goals? And then just be quiet. And usually what you're going to find out, like you said, is they really know nothing about EXP, but it kind of flips the page. What was, you know, that's kind of surprising. And I'm sorry that you didn't think this would be a good fit, but what was it specifically about EXP that you didn't feel like would fit into your business or your future goals? And usually they're like, and then you can kind of learn how much they've actually heard.
Yeah. Everybody that we've talked to, that, I mean, all of us that have brought business partners over, they talk to somebody else, right? They all have. Like Shelley's talked to people, but the messaging was not correct a lot of times, or maybe they didn't dig in deep enough to really take a look. Our job is to get them to peel back the onion and break down the barrier, to at least to take a look. So that's why it's so important to do this in threes and edify the person that you want to connect them with. Like, they should feel like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to that third party person, because that third party person is so amazing. So then it breaks away, like Shelley was saying, then you get off EXP a little bit, and it's like, you got to connect with this person because we're looking to network and mastermind or whatever the case is together. Then it's up to that other party to help out, to get them to the finish line. You know,
it's funny because you craft it. Like, I'm always like thinking about every word that's said, And it's so important to not use negative language when you're talking to somebody. So like, what wasn't that you didn't like? I would be like, what, what was interesting to you?
Mhm.
And then you can ask, maybe like kind of flip it a little bit, because I'm really careful about language now than I used to be, because a negative is hard. You probably have to take 10 times as long to get them out of that negative mindset. People naturally want to go to the negative. And if you can keep them on a more of a positive track and more excited about getting that three-way call, we can deal with that later.
Mhm.
So like, I usually do what makes it more, maybe on a three-way call, like, what was it? What was it that was a challenge or hang up for you? What was your concern? So like, language is really important when you're talking to people, because they'll get hung up on that negative word. And so I've learned that as I've been doing this too, talking on whether it's a three-way call, or or just having, like, going over a lunch and learn or something like that. Just language is critical, because
Yeah, I
they
think
want to feel good about running with you. What's that?
at the end of the Zoom, I know that we were asking a lot. We learned this, that how should we end this thing? So we started, like, in the beginning, we were like, it's like, where do we get to the next level? How do we do this? Like, how do we keep the process going? And we were having
Right.
some issues in the beginning, a lot. And
Right.
then it got to the point where we would say, after we're talking everything else, Shelley or myself would say, well, what did you like about the model so much?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, it helps us too. Well, I like revenue share, I like stocks, I like whatever. They'll say, if we would have said, what did you like or dislike, that's putting negativity right away. They're going to focus on the negative versus the positive, because that's
Right.
just human nature, right? So if
Right.
you say, like, what did you like so much? And then they let us know, great. Listen, I want to send you, sometimes when I want to send you into some additional information to your email, but I also want to connect you with, you're trying to get them to the next level, so and so, because I think this, it's like you're keep jumping them off from one person to another. And how about Monday at 2 o'clock? Can you talk again there? And I'm going to send you some additional information too, and try to lock them in. Just don't let them go. We did that a lot in the beginning, and that was horrible for us. And I kept saying to Shelley, like, I'm so used to closing
Right.
that it wasn't like we were taking it to the next step. So we had to work on that together, as me and
We
her
did.
both.
You're 1,000% right. And I think, like, the whole entire goal of this call is not to try to go 10 miles deep with them on EXP at all. The entire goal is to get them on a call with John, because once they see our faces, you have to remember, we're on the phone. They can't see my face. They can't see that they like, that I'm friendly, that I'm nice, and that I'm like a normal human, just like they are. But once you can look in someone's eyes and see that they have the same wants, needs, and desires you do, and that maybe they've gotten there a little bit because of a great company, or because of Impact Worldwide, they've been able to accomplish some of their goals along the way. Then they go, wow, they're actually, I want to be in relationship with them. So like, John and I have a guy that John brought to me to do a three-way, and Craig to do a three-way call with. And that guy's like, I really want to be in relationship with you guys. So that was really, so like, we're going to build it. It's a long play. He's a big producer, and he's a super nice guy, but he just needs a little bit more time, because he's happy where he is. But eventually something's going to happen, whether it's team dynamics change, the office does something, they close down, they do whatever, that's going to make him want to look at this. It's timing for people too. So you have to respect where they are in their business, and help them get there. So it's that process of that. John, do you mind John is like probably the best at this out of anybody I know. Would you mind it if you were the one that was taking the call?
So, oh, you mean calling you? Yeah, we
Yeah,
could
call
do that.
me.
Yeah, for sure. And then another thing too, real quick before I start it, I'm just thinking about this right now. Now, guys, this is prime recruiting season. So right now is the time to step on the gas. You'll put more agents on between now and December if you start building your pipeline out. So, but yeah, we could do a role play real quick. So, ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Shelley?
It is.
Hey, Shelley, how you doing? Shelley, my name is John Pedone. I wanted to call and introduce myself to you. I run a real estate group here in the Lake Norman area. And plus I have a co-listing business I have down in South Florida, a luxury business I run. But I noticed that you're an awesome rock star up there in Asheville, and I'm always looking to connect with great agents. Are you still running a good business up there?
Yeah, I am. We have a
Okay.
great business. Yep.
So do you have a team currently, Shelley, right now?
Yeah, we do. Craig LePage and I do. Yes.
That's awesome. How many agents do you guys have?
We have 10 agents.
Wow, that's great. So are you still currently with Keller Williams up there?
Yeah, I've been with Ted Keller Williams about 10 years now.
Wow. Did you start your career with them guys?
No, I started with Long and Foster.
So they're up in the Asheville area?
No, it's actually out of Maryland. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I actually started my career down in South Florida with KW. I was with KW for many years, and then I shifted over to the Lake Norman market, and I was with KW as well and stuff. And then I decided to move my business over. But it's been I know KW is a great company. I respected KW and
Yep.
stuff. But Shelley, the reason I wanted to reach out to you today is we started an organization about 4 years ago. It started with just a few agents. Now there's about 3,000 of us. And a lot of us are top teams and top producers all around the world, which we created a private network, which we collaborate and work with each other and just try to help each other get our businesses to the next level. The reason why I really reached out to you is I noticed that you ran a great business up there, and I'm always looking to collaborate and connect with smart people like yourself. I would love to introduce you to a business partner of mine, Meg Watson. She runs a great group out of Charleston. If you're open to that, I mean, we have some great stuff we're working on. I just love to get your opinion of some of the stuff we're working on to see if that is something that you might would like to get involved with.
So is this like a real estate team or is this a company?
No, so actually, we're all individuals, so as individual agents and individual teams. We started an organization called Impact Worldwide, and basically, it was a support system for us, for all of us to help each other with our businesses and take our sales business to the next level. Look at other business opportunities into the real estate industry. I'm not going to lie, we made a decision to switch our businesses over to EXP because we wanted ownership, and we just felt it was the best engine for us to run a business in. But I would love to just sit down with you and just show you some things that we're doing inside of Impact, and take a look at it and just see what you're thinking. I think that, being introduced to Meg is a phenomenal person. I think you guys would get along great. And I just I respect your business you run. I'd love you to take a look at what we're doing.
Are you so are you saying like you're wanting me to switch? I'd have to switch EXP to be a part of Impact.
Yeah, I mean, the systems and the tools that we're using and how we're leveraging things is inside of EXP. And we could talk a little bit about EXP. Have you heard about EXP before?
Oh yeah, lots of calls on EXP.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's probably blowing you up because you're a producer up there. What have you heard about the model that you kind of liked?
Well, I mean, honestly, I have looked at it a little bit, but really, I don't see where it's a real benefit. Our cap's the same as EXP, so
Yeah,
I really pretty much feel like I've got a good deal here, and
yeah.
I don't want to I don't see the point in disrupting my business to like make a lateral move.
Yeah, and I can respect that. And to be honest with you, I mean, I have tons of business partners that initially, when they first looked at it, they were like, yeah, maybe there's not, but there's a lot that if we peel back the onion and looked at some of the things that from an EXP standpoint in the engine, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. But listen, I'm not asking to recruit you, right? That's not my call. I'm asking just to take a look at what we're doing and just see whether there might be some interest, whether it's now or later. But, worst case scenario, we could build a great relationship, maybe get a referral network going, but I just think that you and Meg would get along great. I mean, she's a phenomenal person. I think that you guys really hit it off, and I'd love for you to meet her. So if you have like 20, 30 minutes available, I mean, I'd love to try to see if we can build a relationship together.
I mean, I might be open to that, but so like my understanding is there's just like stock in the company. It's not really like, but is that like, I don't really, that's my understanding is it's stock, and KW's getting ready to have stock. I mean, we're going to have stock and like, they're going to IPO in like 2 months, I think. So I think I might want to look at this maybe after the first of the year.
Okay. Well, again, I can get in digging deep on the model if you like, but I don't want to get I don't want to get confused with the conversation. So from a stock standpoint, I could break down. I have to be honest. I mean, I could talk a little bit about myself. I've been with the company for about 4 years. I've hit an icon agent. I've gotten stock awards. I bought stock personally. I've gotten stock throughout the company, and that's turned into a return rate over $1 million in stock options for me. But I'd
Wow.
love to kind of share that with you if you like, and just show like what we're doing, because the unique thing about the stock, since you're talking about stock, it's just not about real estate. We're a tech company, so there's additional avenues of income that come in. We own a platform that's called Rebella that creates income. We also recently purchased Showcase IDX, which is a platform that we're going to use to combat Zillow. There's going to be revenue coming in through that. Plus, we additionally just purchased a Success Magazine, Success Enterprises. But I can dig into all that stuff so you can kind of paint a picture. My goal of just reaching out to you is just kind of to connect you with Meg and kind of share what we're doing. And then, you know, if you want to have any additional questions, I'm more than happy to answer that for you.
Okay. I think I'd like to do that. But it's going to have to be like next week sometime if that, I mean, that's when I'm really free.
Sure, no problem. Let me just look at my calendar real quick because I know that I got a few business meetings going on, and I know we're all crazy. How does Monday at 11 a.m. I got a Monday at 11 or a Tuesday at 11. Would that work for you?
Tuesday would be better for me.
Okay, I'm gonna lock you in for Tuesday, and then I'm really excited. I know that you guys are really gonna hit it off, and then yeah, we can ask some additional questions about EXP then too as well. But I'll get you out an invite, and then you'll get a text invite too. But I'm excited, and I look forward to connecting with you, Shelley.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Appreciate your
No
time.
problem. You have a great day.
You too.
Talk to you on Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Awesome job. You guys
So
are
that's
so
kind of like,
amazing.
you know, so Shelley's obviously a team, big player. It's depending on who you're talking to, you got to adjust your conversation, right? That's in any situation.
And so here's the thing. So I want to point something out. Like, so we've had this almost exact call before, right? We've had this before, and it really is keeping the conversation going and not shutting yourself down. So John, no matter how, like keeping it going and respectfully keeping it going so that the person feels like they're being heard. And what you're uncovering is they're a little curious, like maybe 30% right there, right? That was probably a person's like 30-40% curious. And maybe just afraid to like look into it too deep because it's going to make them uncomfortable and have to change. So that's a person that, you know, will evolve into this with you, or they may not, but that's okay. Because here's the thing, like, don't be attached to the outcome of all these calls. If you're not attached to the outcome, then you will absolutely have more opportunities with more people, because that means you're really listening to what their keys are and trying to help them navigate that conversation. And they're not that hard. You're going to have a call with this individual agent who's a $4 million producer, because here's the most painful place for most people is that $4 to $5 million producer who's having to wear 50 million hats, and they're so busy they have no life. So a lot of times on these calls, I'll be like, you know, my biggest challenge is when I was selling the way I was before was having that work-life balance. And this has allowed me some time freedom, you know, because we have the passive streams of income to be able to afford that. I'd love to talk to you more about that and how your family could benefit from those from those opportunities if you're even interested. And we'll also tell them you're not allowed to come to EXP.
Yeah.
They'll say, we were trying to recruit me to, you know what, let's take that off the table completely. Let's just take that off the table and let's just have a conversation. And a lot of times they'll just laugh and they'll break down then, because that's their fence. So you have to imagine the person you're calling, their fence could be this high or it could be this high, right? And all you're doing is trying to pull create a slat where you can peek through, because right now they're all peeking through looking at us, and the gap will get a little wider and then the gate will open, right? So
I think it is so amazing. And I didn't even think about this when I know what you guys do, because I've listened and I love it. And I didn't even think about how it fits into what one thing we talked about that last week. Does everyone remember the three-way call conversation that we had? Becoming a master at the three-way call. And you notice that when we got on this, I edified Shelley. I introduced Shelley, I introduced John, I edified them, and I just put my mic on mute, right? Let them take over. But here's the really cool thing that just hit me a few minutes ago. I'm like, you guys not only have been doing this for a while, as far as even just having conversations, Zoom calls, maybe not cold calls, right. You would be considered the masters. And everybody listening, what are they doing? On every single call, you are connecting someone immediately. You haven't even had an EXP conversation with them yet. And it clicked with me. I'm like, you know, I know Shelley, you've seen this. We've talked about it before. John, I know you've seen it, that when people in your group say, I've been talking to this agent, we've had coffee 3 times, we've had lunch 4 times, and I just can't get them to come, what is the first question we usually ask them? Who have you connected them with? Like, let's get them connected, because there's power in numbers. If you don't have a story, use John. If you don't have a story, use mine, use Shelley's. We are here. But I just find it so interesting. I've never even thought about this before. That's the first thing you guys are doing on the very first phone call, is saying, I just would love to connect you with my business partner. I think you guys are really going to hit it off. And that's huge.
That's awesome, Meg, because
we never talk about the we never talk about the we really avoid talking about the EXP model, because it's not good to do that over a phone, your first initial phone call.
Right.
Obviously, when we get on the Zoom, we dig in a little bit deeper, but we let them get into that, because our job is just to get them on the Zoom, right, with the third party. If you start getting into the conversation of explaining the EXP model, they're not going to get it over the phone, and it's just going to turn them off. And you got to look at this because we have stocks, and then we have revenue share, and we have this, and we have that. Then they're just like, click, right?
And you'll be just like the other 3 people that they've heard
Correct,
from, that they're saying, yeah, right?
1,000%. Then that wall will go up even higher, and it'll be even harder to break down the road. And just getting, so your job is to get appointments. It's like when you're calling up for sale by owner expired, we're not going to tell the person how great we are on the phone. They don't even know what we look like. They don't even know if, not that we don't look like anything, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even know if they want to really like us or not. I mean, because it's the whole Zig Ziglar, like and trust, and they have to like you and trust you before they're going to trust you to tell you their most personal thing, which is their business and how they're supporting their family. Right. So if we can get them to like and trust and understand that we care about them. So on our calls, when we do the 3-way calls, just so anybody who's going to do them or wants to develop into a 3-way calling situation, it is all about that person. It's not about us. Nobody cares about us. All they care about is what this company or this being a part of what we're doing how it can affect and help their family and help them get their goals and meet their dreams. Because if it can't do that, they're not going to make a move. They're not interested in being a part of it. Why would they? So it's not about us. It's not about how successful we are. You want it to be about them 1,000%. And the way you do that is you ask really good questions. So, and then you help them realize that you are very similar in what your goals are. And then they go, you know what? I want to be a part of what they're doing.
I think you guys are the perfect example of positive way of connecting with people. And, you know, one of my favorite things that I was taught as a child is nobody cares how much that you know until they know how much you care. So anybody listening to both of these phone conversations, you notice John did not even talk about himself for the first 5 minutes. And finally, Shelley pushed him a little, and he was like, well, I guess I could talk a little bit about myself. I've been in the business, These calls are never about you. If you really want to connect, it's so important to just ask, you know, like, tell me about you.
You're so right. But I will say this to you, and John will tell you this. You do need to, and I wasn't good at this.
Got to edify yourself right away.
Edify yourself.
Yeah.
You got 30 seconds to let them know that you're important and they need to talk to you.
The first couple seconds, Shelley was not doing this in the beginnings at all. And because she doesn't like to talk about herself. And I'm like, you have to edify whoever you are. So, and it doesn't mean you got to say I'm for selling all this tons of real estate. You just let them know who you are. Hey, I'm a realtor here in Charlotte. You know, I'm focused on running a great business. I noticed you're in so-and-so. I've been in the business. A quick edification. So they're like, okay, this person's calling me from the blue. Now I kind of know who they are.
The one thing it does is now you're not a salesperson. You're them. Right. Yeah. So if you say, hey, I'm John Pedone and I have a small team, or I run a good business here in the Charlotte market, you know, or I am a husband-wife team like Robin and David Phillips, like I'm Meg Watson. I love real estate. I've been in real estate for 25 years, and I laugh. I'll be like, I've been in real estate for 17 years. I know you've not been in that long, Meg, but I'm just trying to use an example, but 17 years. And I'll laugh and I'll go, I'm not as old as I sound.
I know.
Because I don't want to think I'm 100. Like
I always say I started when I was 12, and that, you know, that gets them to laugh. I'm like, it's 27 years, but just so you know, I started when I was 12. But I think laughter too, and being casual and conversational, and you guys are so great at that. It helps break down those barriers. But yeah, it is true. The edification of yourself, But I love then how you just go right
Right
into
into them.
asking all about them. And, Shelley, in your conversation, in the call with John a little while ago, I think he was trying, I can't remember what he was trying to kind of get off track with. And you just said, John, do you have kids? Do you have a family? Like, make turn the tables a little bit, distract a little bit, ask questions that are close to their heart. And just say, hey, I wonder what I'm wanting to get into relation with you. John, I also love that you mentioned referrals. Because I tell you that buzzword, I think within Impact, I was just on a call at 9:30 this morning with the Charlotte agent. And, one of the things I said was, hey, within Impact, we support each other, not only in live trainings and helping each other grow our businesses, but we not only want to send EXP referrals when we have an out of state or out of city referral, we want it to be within our Impact group. And she was like, oh.
Look at last night, I saw that there was a Carrie Bossard put a referral up in there for Wilmington. And she asked me, she's like, I'm going to put it in Impact before I put it anywhere. And I'm like, of course, so
Yeah.
that stays in the family, right? And if we don't have an agent in Boise, Idaho, then that's a different story. Then obviously we could, use EXP referrals. But that is it. I think that's a huge key of like, too, is like just keeping things internally inside of here and sharing that with them. Like we do referrals together. We help each other with our sales business. We do all these things additional. Plus you're getting this fabulous company of EXP as an engine. So you're getting the best of both worlds. It really separates the agents that are with Impact versus the agents that are not with Impact because of what we're doing today right now together from a collaboration standpoint. It's huge. So much value in that.
I love it. So tell everyone, how many mean people have you had?
How many
mean people? It's funny. I can honestly say I've not had anyone be mean to me.
Yeah.
I think your approach helps a lot.
Yeah.
I think so. I've had one lady where I messed up one day and she like said, I'm not interested. And she got off the phone. But that didn't hurt. That was not painful. But I mean, I've not anyone say anything because I think you have to remember you're a peer. So you're not calling from software company, I'm going to sell you leads company. You're a peer in the industry, and we have a mutual respect in that industry. If someone is mean, they probably aren't going to be a great partner anyways, because they're probably like that normally.
Right.
So I think that when you come out, I think that being a peer really helps. So I love that you bring that up, Meg, because you're right. Like that really gave me comfort in making calls because I knew that I wasn't going to be dealing with like a harsh person on the other end of the phone. I've had people have tough questions. Sure. And try to ask the tough questions, and all that is because we did it when we went out to California. We met with those guys to like see what this EXP thing was all about. We went out there with the tough questions because we had a team we loved that we wanted to protect, and we wanted to make sure we're making a good decision because we're also taking care of our family. So that was, I think I just remember that I had tough questions, so that's okay. Right. Tough questions are actually buying questions. So when someone asks you tough questions, they're actually asking you because they're interested in actually what you're doing. So if they don't have tough questions, they're not really that serious. So tough questions are a good thing because they're interested. They're probably closer than you think if they're asking tough questions.
I would love to ask for some feedback in the comments. We've had a lot of amazing comments going on, and everybody is so appreciative of you guys. I'm over here just kind of watching them on my phone.
Oh, that's so nice.
But two things, if you could pop into the comments, if you have a specific question for Shelley and John, real quick. We've got about a couple minutes left, just maybe 3 or 4. I'd love to see if we could answer any specific questions. And then secondly, if you would type in there a goal for the number of phone calls, whether they're agents or don't know, this week, I would like for everybody to have some accountability to each other. And lastly, if you'll pop in there, have you found your running partner? Because we can work together in this group and in these comments to find running partners. Okay, so if you don't have someone that you want or think might be a good fit, look in these comments and everybody say, I need a running partner, or yes, I found one and we're committed to doing this many calls this week, because action is key, right? We've given you last week kind of where to find the agents how to get your system organized. This week, you've gotten to hear an amazing approach. Thank you so much, Shelley and John, for sharing that with us, because I've heard a lot of different strategies over 4 years. And hands down, when I got to hear you guys making some calls, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful we have impact. So thank you for impact, first of all, Shelley. And second of all, just thank you for all that both of you do to pour into us. Good. Catherine, I'm excited to commit to 2 per day, 5 a week. Yes, that's awesome. That would actually be 10 a week. That's great. 10 a week. Yay. My goal, Lisa, let's see. Okay, Bob Gauger in Maryland needs a running partner. Yes, and Bob would be an amazing running partner.
Yeah, you guys want a great one. Bob is a great guy. If he needs,
Bob, I will be your running partner if nobody else will.
You guys would be great together.
I love it. Yes. And then lastly, Shelley and John. So if this group really just worked on getting their list together last week, let's take somebody like they're from the very beginning. I want you, if you will, to maybe give us our homework for the next week. What would you think is realistic? What would be a good system? And lastly, I do want you to touch base real quick on how do you keep up with all these and where are you putting your notes? Because follow-up is key, right?
Right.
So those are just a couple of quick things.
So I use CRM Grow to put a lot of my data in. Shelley's a big note. I would say she's a big notebook person too.
And I give it to somebody and then I let them put it in for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that it is that if you CRM Grow, I would recommend that everybody gets, because, or I know AttractZen. I think AttractZen's good. I don't know a lot about it, so I can't speak on it.
Yeah.
Maybe
I would use CRM Grow right now.
Yeah, it's simplified.
Yeah, we know it's going to work. We know that it works and it's simple. So that's what I would use right now.
So so what happens is we put them in there and it's good because you could put what firm they're with, you could put notes, you could send videos out, and it's only like $29 a month. So if you guys, anybody that's taking agent attraction barely seriously can afford $29 a month to keep themselves organized in there. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely recommend doing that. So I do that, and then it helps me go through and figure out who I've talked to and notes and do follow-ups and so forth, because follow-up is definitely key. I want to say this too real quick, and then I was thinking about this the other day, is that for some of us that already have an agent, right? Like if we brought an agent in, and it's as your business partner, if they're struggling with this, ask them to make their list for you, like you talked about, Megan. Maybe even it's a list of 20 agents, 10 agents, and then help them, because you need to build confidence in them. So I went out this week, and I'm still going through the list. I'm talking to everybody that I feel like that I know is going to do this, and they've been wanting to do this. I'm like, listen, give me your list by Tuesday of next week of your 20 agents. I am going to call them on your behalf, and we're going to get these deals done together. So that's just being you as a good business partner to the person you're with. Shelley does a phenomenal job of, I don't know how she does it sometimes because she's stretched so thin, but she does it. And she makes herself available. I know you do, Meg, but that's what we do. That's what you should do as a good partner. You should be there if you're going to bring somebody to this company, I'm a firmly believe that you should be there for them. You should take that responsibility and help them.
Yeah. But your growth is important, because if you're not growing, how are you going to help others grow? Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of fun, guys. This is like not work. This is fun. We are having how great does it feel when people win because you had some small piece and something with it? I mean, I know, Meg, that's like your cart. And when you can help other people win at this, that is like, I love this. Like, this is amazing to me that we get to do this. But the one thing I would encourage you to do is get on the 11 o'clock call. So if you want to be on the 11 o'clock call on Tuesdays, put your email address below. We'll get you in to grab it and invite you in, because it is a private call, because we are talking to real people, and I don't want the world to know all their business. So that would be one. And then the other thing is on Thursdays at 10 o'clock, Lee Tetzer and I have been doing a call with his group. We're opening it up to Impact starting on Thursdays, every Thursday at 10 o'clock. And it's going to be a Zoom. So it's a mastermind. It's an agent attraction mastermind every Thursday at 10 o'clock. And that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have that starting live for all of us.
That would be great, because it can follow this series so that we can all keep communicating. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, so that'll be
Awesome.
on 10 o'clock. That'll be great, Meg. And I love that you do this, Meg. I mean, thank you so much because
Thank you,
isn't she
man.
great at organizing all of this? She put all this time and organized it and put it all together for all of us. And she wants us to all win as much as we're all working so hard together.
And, and I learned, I mean, like, you know, I'm learning with everyone. That's what I said last week. I'm definitely not the
We
master, but
all
I
are. We're all
love,
learning.
love it.
Like
Yeah.
even John reminded me of some things today that I forgot that I should be doing, which is wonderful because now I'm going to do those things, you know, and you and always are growing. But the other thing I would ask you guys to do, so that Thursday call will be a Zoom, it'll be a mastermind. We will run it live inside of Impact Worldwide. But if you really want to get the benefit of it, is to actually come to the Zoom meeting because we are going to be asking questions and you're going to be able to get your answers, and that's going to be amazing. And I got this Thursday, I was fired up. Please, like I worked out, my hair was all like pulled back, I looked awful, but I didn't care because I had things I had to get in. So I knew I was going to be cutting it close, so I'm getting a shower and getting my hair dry. So he goes, come next time, don't take a shower, just come to the meeting because I was on fire. I was like, he was like, I love it. So that's a really real call. That's like a real, like the real deal. You know, that's a very vulnerable, real call. And we're all going to do this together. And then John, I'd love for you and Meg to be a part of that with us too, because
Yeah.
so it's a leader. It's not, we're just putting it on, but John and Meg and all the great leaders that are doing this together are going to be on that call too. And we're all going to be running together. So it's awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks, Meg, for putting this together.
You guys, thank you so much. And everybody, we are here for you. If you have questions or need help, you know where to find us. Shelley Johnson, John Pedone. We've got our EXP emails, or you can workplace chat us. So for next week, guys, please go back. If you have not seen week 1, just go back through the feed on Impact Worldwide. Do that and make sure there was quite a bit of homework from last week. So if you need time to get that done. And then this week, the goal is find your running partner, set up a time each week that you will be on a Zoom call together and help each other in motivating and making these calls. I can tell you that you two motivated me to finally, you guys, this is pathetic. After 4 years, I didn't have my calling running partner, right? Jennifer Pratt and I started calling 3 weeks ago. And this week it like clicked. All of a sudden I was like, okay, you're next. And we were like little kids just sitting there going, oh. And we were invited to an event that we did here yesterday. And I ended up with 2 appointments for next week from an 1.5 hour long calling session. And these are people that I've tried to reach out to for a couple of years. So we're having fun. We're like texting each other. We feel like rock stars right now. Like, you know? So it is fun to collaborate, and that's what we're here for. So if we can ever help on 3-way calls or just a text away. I hope everybody has an awesome week and love you both. Thank you so much for your time today.
Right.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys. Bye.